Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm just back at it again with a new video using Carnival 4, the Antidote palette by BPerfect Cosmetics and Stacey Marie. If you've not checked out my first video on this palette, I'll link it below. You guys will know I am obsessed with this palette and I haven't put it down since. I was really lucky to be invited by BPerfect to the Glasgow launch of the palette, and there was a masterclass by Queen Icon legend Stacey Marie herself.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
So I picked up a couple of top tips with this palette that I wouldn't have thought of. So I'm going to sit down and do a really cute look today. I did a vote on Instagram, you guys voted for khaki, but I'm going to do a neutral look today only because I'm really feeling like doing a really nice warm neutral look. It's just a vibe, and you know, I did try and film khaki yesterday. I realised that I have to be in the mood to do colour, and I haven't done a just old-fashioned Allan warm glam in a while, so that's what we're going to do today. So if you haven't seen the palette already, you'll see it's divided up into three kind of colour stories. You've got your nice kind of warm autumnal neutrals, you've got your middle kind of three rows which are all classic neutrals, browns, really wearable colours, and then you've got this kind of pop of fun with the khakis and stuff that is going to give you a pop of colour into your makeup if you're someone who wants to add a bit of colour but you're not wanting a full rainbow palette. You've got these lovely khakis and these lovely olives which will mix and merge really nicely with all of the warm tones and the neutrals, so you're getting neutrals with a kind of edge. So I really like the colour story of this palette. I'm going to be sticking to the kind of warm tones mostly, but we'll see what happens. So if you've not already subscribed to my channel, the button is below. Make sure today is the day you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss any future uploads from me, and let's get into the look. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to just zoom you guys in and we can start on the look. To start off, I'm going to go in with my favourite eyeshadow primer, which is of course the Urban Decay Eden eye primer. Can't do my makeup without this these days. I went through a phase when I wasn't really using this as much, but guys, like, I can't do my eyes without this. I love it. And what I've been liking is just really fluffing that out all over the lid with a fluffier brush just to get a really seamless base, whereas before I'd be really packing it on. I really found recently, I don't know if you guys, but I really find that I really like to use a lot less makeup than what I used to. I find that I'm really noticing that less is more. I like to just use a little bit of this base now and just kind of fluff it all over my lids, just to get a really even base but not a heavy thick base. So I'm going to just start off by kind of setting the foundations for this eye look. So one thing that I love to do when I'm doing my kind of warmer looks and I want it to look really snatched and really seamless is I'll take the brush I use for my bronzer and just whatever's left, we just start to kind of flick that into the outer corner, almost like an extension of our contour, but it just kind of sets that kind of transition in place for when we go to put shadows on top. It's really going to blend into our complexion and look really flawless, like super snatched, super easy. And guys, the amount of times that I go to do my makeup for the day and I do this to start doing an eye look and then I'm just like, this will do, and I just put a bit of lashes and good to go. It's ridiculous. And this is really subtle. We're not wanting a lot of colour pay out, just more of a kind of sculpt. Just barely anything, but you'll notice it, like, you won't notice this right away, but when you finish the look it'll really pull it together. We're going to go light to dark or dark to light, always the question that I ask, but I think, like, I just wanted to do a really snatched look, so I think I might actually go dark to light. So to start off, we're going to be taking the shade Pecan, and what we're going to just do is stamp that on the outer corner. What I like to do is use my kind of darker colour just to outline the shape of my eyes. I do this in all my videos, like, apart from when I be fickle and change back to going light to dark, which does happen sometimes, but when I'm doing dark to light I like to use my colour to really stamp out the outer shape, so when you look straight ahead you should just be able to see it above the eye folds, and then when you go to blend out the colours you get a lot more control over the shape that you want to create. So we're just building up that shape on the outer corner. You could take it all the way in if you want to, but I'm getting to that age where I like to keep the inner part of my eye a bit more open, just so that everything looks a lot more lifted. If you create depth and shadow in here, then everything's going to look a lot more closed off, a lot more like small. I like to make my eyes look as big as possible. And then with whatever's left on my brush, I just start to diffuse the edges of this colour. Again, don't worry if you think you're going to lose some definition, because this whole idea is more about creating the shape. You can go back in and add your definition later. This is more about just getting the shape down first and you can work from there. And then we just take a clean fluffy brush with no product on it and we're just going to go over the edges just to diffuse. Like I said, don't worry if you're diluting the colour too much. This is more about shape at this point. And this brush is more just to diffuse any harsh lines, so that when we go to build up colour on top, it's going to really build up nicely. So I want this look to be really warm but still quite neutral at the same time. So we're going to just go in and take the shade Cinnamon, and we're going to just use that to really start to sculpt the eye contour and blend out that pecan shade. This will kind of neutralise things a little bit, but still give it that warmth that we're looking for in the look. And then just to continue with that really warm crease, we're going to take the shade October, which I think might be my favourite colour in the palette. I used this in my last video. It's really nice and orangey. And we're just going to gently dust that over the top. Then we're just going to go back in with our clean blending brush, and we're just going to make sure that everything looks really diffused. And now what I'm going to do is what I've seen Stacey Marie do at the masterclass, which is this colour. Do not sleep on it in the palette, guys. It's called Dusty Rose. It is like, it looks like a kind of neutral mauve in the pan, but when it goes on your eyes, it's got the right amount of warmth just to add some warmth to the look. It's the right amount of pink as well. It is still neutral, but it's just one of those colours that like you probably wouldn't look at in the pan and think, need to try that, but need to try it. You see, it just adds that, it just blends everything for you. Like, it just does a lot of the work for you. And then, just because I'm obsessed with Stacey Marie and her full artistry vibe, I'm going to jump into the shade Zest now. Zest is a really nice kind of mustardy yellow, and I love how Stacey will always use like the yellow tones to really diffuse everything. I just think it makes it look sick. Like, you'll see that on top of the kind of warm tones. It just, when you're really focusing the yellow, especially in like the inner corner, outer corner, and just all over the edges, it just does something. I don't know what it does, but it just transforms the look. Like, if you haven't used a yellow eyeshadow, like a mustard eyeshadow, those kind of colours to blend out your warm tones, you're missing out. Try it, try it, try it. If you're going to try it, this one right here, like, do you see the blend that gives? Like, kind of obsessed. Yep, so now that we've got our blend looking super seamless on top and really nice, really blown out, really snatched, it's then time to like deepen up. So I've done it enough already here, but we're going to just kind of repeat the colours that we've used already, going dark to light, but now we're going to do them again, light to dark. And this is going to really intensify our depth of colour, the vibrancy, and make everything look really intense, really blended, really, really nice. What I like to do is actually just start off with the shade Pecan again, which is the darkest brown. The reason why is because I want to just make sure that I'm getting the shape exactly how I want it. So just stamping some more of that down. And then once we've got that stamped, we're going to just again use the edge of this brush to really kind of blow everything out. And just really kind of give us that really nice definition. So I like most of my depth to be in the outer corner, but we do slowly wiggle the colour in to the socket just so that it is giving it a little bit of a gradient blend. And then we're going to go in with the shade October again, and we're going to just use that to kind of diffuse that and make sure that those two colours are really marrying together really nicely. A little bit more of Zest over the top just to add a lot of warmth and keep things looking really nice. I just don't ever want to lose that kind of yellow through the edge, because when you lose that yellow, it just kind of takes away that kind of grungy look. That's what I'm really wanting to go for. It's like warm, neutral, grungy, glam vibe. And then this is where we add a little bit more depth. We're going to go in with a smaller brush. This is one of my favourites. It's the Made by Mitchell ME1 super tiny fluffy brush, and we're just going to take a little bit more of the shade Pecan, and we're going to just really start to build that up in the outer corner. The reason why we did it at a bigger brush first is just to get that really nice blown out blend, but then you want to just make sure you're really concentrating that colour by taking a smaller brush and really pushing it in to exactly where you want to add depth and shadow. And I love this brush because it's really precise and tapered, but it's also fluffy, so you can kind of kick out the ends just with really light fluffy motions. And then this little tiny brush from Made by Mitchell, the ME2, like, do not sleep on this, it is so good. We're going to just take a little bit more of October, just right over the edges. And then the same one, a little bit more of Zest, which was that really nice yellow colour. And then I go back over to my biggest fluffiest brush with the yellow on it and just make sure that the edges are really diffused and that there's nothing, like no step that you can't see where it's not marrying into the next colour really nicely. So you can take your time with this and just get it really seamless and really smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke out the lower lash line, and that'll give me a kind of vibe of what we're going to do on top. So I'm going to take my Urban Decay eye pencil in the shade Whiskey. Guys, like if you haven't got this pencil, you need it in your life, because honestly it is the best brown eye pencil. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's like a chocolatey dream. It blends out so nicely. I love it as a base for any shadows on top. It just, like, just take a word for it. Like, if you haven't got Urban Decay 24/7 Glide-On pencil in the shade Whiskey, I would highly recommend adding to back. You guys know normally I end up taking my lower lash line shadow like really low and a bit too smoky. But for this, I just want it to be quite tight, still smoky but tight. I don't want it coming down to my like cheekbones like what normally happens when I get a bit carried away. And then I'm going to take this little Mitchell brush again, the ME2, and I'm going to take some of the shade Cinnamon. And I like this one because it's really nice to keep in to tight while it's still getting a really fluffy, seamless blend. And then a little bit of the shade Zest, just to make sure we're getting that really nice yellow tone on the lower lash line. I did say I wanted this to be really tight, and of course it has got a bit darker than what I would have liked, a bit lower, but you know we move. And then I just want to make sure the top and the bottom are connected, so we're just taking the bigger, fluffier brush that we use for that yellow colour, and literally I'm not taking it right under the eye, I'm just focusing on the outer corner where the top and bottom join is. And that's it. So I'm going to take a little bit more of my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in the shade Eden. So I'm going to just take, I'm not doing like a harsh cut crease or anything, because I did that last time and that was the first time in a long time and the last time in a long time. I'm going to take a fluffier brush and we're going to just pat that on the lid at first, just to re-intensify the lid. You don't want a lot of product on your brush at this point because it's going to leave you with a lot to work with. And just kind of pat until you get the nice opaque lid, and then we're going to kind of feather out the edges. So feathering out the edges will mean it's going to be softer. You're not using this to carve or cut a crease, you're using it more just to re-intensify the lids and give you a really nice base to put a shimmer on top of, but also create a little bit of brightness. You don't have to do this, but it means you have less to worry about when you're doing your blending at the start, because you're not having to worry about keeping that area really free of product. But you want it to be really soft, really settled. Now we're going to add a little bit of tone to the look now. So what you want to do is take a little bit more of the shade October, and that is that really nice warm brown, orangey, fiery orange actually. And we're going to just take that over the edges, just so that that colour, the cut crease, just so that the Eden primer isn't kind of blended off into itself. You want to kind of make sure that it is seamless and there's still no harsh lines. Just like I'm using, you see I'm using barely any pressure. Then we're going to tone the look a little bit. Now toning is like what I've basically seen Stacey say, is you're taking black, but you don't want black to be like a prominent colour. You're just using it to tone. So to tone the outer corner and create a little bit more depth. And then once you've got it laid down, you're going to go over it with a fluffier brush with your more lighter colours, like, you know, the warm brown, the cinnamon, the October, the black. You're just using that to then soften the black. Don't be scared of the black though. And then for the colour that I became so obsessed with, we're going to take the shade Cutie Pie, which is this really nice, like duochrome, like copper, pink rose gold, like I can't even think of what to describe this as. It's like a pinky, goldy, rose gold, duochrome. But when I tell you guys the shimmers in this palette, they're wet, like super wet, like they're incredible. And we're just taking that all over the lid, and you'll see how smooth that goes on. And then just to complete the look, we're going in with the shade Glisten, which is my favourite shimmer in the palette. It is stunning. Big chunky brush. This is a Zoeva concealer buffer, but I've noticed that I like these for doing this, because it just lays down the inner corner highlight like so, like just so intensely. Like, I would normally use my finger for this, but I feel this actually is better. Like inner corner popping like. So I'm going to just pop on some lashes and I will meet you back here for the finished look. Okay guys, there we have it. The look is complete. I popped on my little rose lash half lashes. You know, they are my favourite. Like, and yeah, I really like this look. So like, you guys know I'm obsessed with this palette. I think this is going to become a mainstay on my channel because I love the colours. The formula of the shimmers in particular is really no joke. Like, they are so wet. They're almost literally like a wet pressed jelly shadow. Like, but yeah, overall I'm super happy at how this look turned out. Like, it's warm, it's beat, it is snatched. Like, it was nice to just sit down and blend for a while as well. I really liked it. It's got a bit of structure, a bit of carve, but nothing too Instagrammy, because I'm kind of over that now. If you haven't picked up this palette, guys, like, you do need it in your life. Like ultimate autumnal palette. I think coming into Christmas and party season, this is going to become a real must-have as well. So if you haven't got this already, I would definitely advise picking it up. I really like this look as well. So if you guys like this look, give it a big thumbs up. Hit me up on Insta if you want to see the super catfish photos that will be going live. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure today's the day you hit that subscribe button. I'll have my other social medias on the screen somewhere. So if we're not friends on Instagram or TikTok, let's make sure today is the day that we are. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you like this look. I hope you like getting glam with me, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.